Oh yeah, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another podcast. You've noticed today that I put a few things onto our site, telling you that we're going to do a little podcast about last night's open house, uh, open house meeting with the Blues, and a select group of like 100, probably a few more than 100 people were chosen to go and meet with the Blues hierarchy last night. When I say chosen ones, doesn't mean that we're special or anything. What they're looking for is to get people that, represent large groups like ours with visitors and that, we've got 11,000 people that are probably influential, so, regarding other fans like podcasters and stuff. Some of the away supporters who I think no one will begrudge the way those guys travel, to be invited. So really, it's not really a select group. It's just people that probably can influence other people so that we can get the word out there. That's the main thing. So I'm not alone tonight. Tonight I've got Beck with us, our famous Beck, who you hear me keep talking about. And Beck, say hello.
Hi everyone, me again.
There she is, look, fresh back from mixing with the stars.
I wouldn't say fresh, I'm knackered.
Yeah, I am as well, because I waited till he got back, didn't I? And we got an hour's time difference. So I don't know, what time did you get back?
I think it was something like half 11, quarter to 12.
Yes, it was like 1:45 when you phoned, because I asked you to phone me when you got back, didn't I?
Mm.
So I had a like 1 o'clock in the morning phone call, but it's good if those things run on like that, because obviously it was a success. I mean, first of all, I want to know where you parked.
I parked in the car park. Yeah.
Nice, huh?
Yeah.
There's some nice cars in there.
I didn't look, to be honest.
I
I didn't
would have.
look.
So, how did you feel putting up there with that? Because it looks absolutely fantastic from the outside now, doesn't it, with the lights on?
Yeah. It's so lovely in there. They've done such a great job inside the stadium and the entrance and everything. It just it looks great. Really, really professional, clean.
You don't
Windows
maybe
were even clean.
what?
The windows were even clean.
Really?
So yeah.
Did you
Everything.
were you made welcome? What happened when you went in? Did you just walk in and go straight in or something, or were you frisked?
So walked in, obviously queued up to sign in, and we got our name badges and what have you. And then we were all put into little groups, and then we all went up the stairs. Got up the
So did they
stairs.
put you into groups as soon as you got there?
Well, I think they're already selected. So on our Yanlad, so I was in the Trevor Francis group.
Ooh.
So you had other groups as well. So it was just like your named little group.
So who was in your group?
Punjabi Blues, and there was a few others. I can't remember their names.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even think I asked what their names were. We were all just mingling together.
So I heard them say that each group's got a leader. How did you decide on your leader?
No idea. It was just automatically chosen. His name was Grant. I think it was Grant. And he worked with Gary Cook at Man City, apparently.
Oh, did he
Yeah.
really? So
Apparently that's what it
each
said.
leader then, they weren't one of the invited 100. They were people selected.
No, they were people who worked work at the group. They were like a tour guide, if you will.
It's nice that they got a few Man City people there, isn't it?
Mm.
So what was the first port of call?
So we went when we went upstairs, when we in our groups, we were greeted by Craig Gardner, lovely bloke, as everyone already knows, really nice guy. Then we all sat down in the room, and we were just listening to Gary Cook, and then Tom Wagner came on, which I believe that went live on the Blues TV.
Yeah, we watched that, and it was a really interesting talk by Tom Wagner, I think. He looked very relaxed. He's one of those blokes who just instills confidence, isn't
he? Yeah.
You can understand why he's good at what he's good at. What did you take out of that chat? And I'll tell you what I took out of it then. We haven't rehearsed this, have we, by the way? You know, we haven't arranged what we're going to say here. We haven't spoken about it really.
I think it's, for me, it wasn't really anything that we hadn't heard before. I think some of it was quite repetitive when he kept saying we're in it for the long haul, and mentioning you know, the visions that he has for the club and things.
The 10-year thing surprised me, because I thought initially it was aimed at being 5 years before they tried to sell it.
And then he said it was 10 years.
Yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, 10-year plan. Yeah.
I think I mean, what I took out of it that I hadn't, and it made me realise how, because a lot of people say, well, how can an American guy come in and just understand British football as a business and take it forward? I'll tell you what I took out of it, and what I noticed is how much they'd analysed it. Because, as he was saying, you know, I mean, he came out with things like, last year we had the 14th biggest revenue in the championship, and we finished 17th. We had the 17th highest average attendance or something, and we finished 17th. Burnley had the second biggest revenue, and they finished top. You know, so he looked at everything and seen what makes a successful club. And the interesting thing was when he said, I think he said, I can't remember exactly, but sort of what I remember was that 4 or 5 of the last seasons, the top 2 teams had played the high press or something along those lines. Yeah. So he worked out from that obviously revenue plays a big part. I think if you're one of the teams that comes down, you've got a 4-in-1 chance of going back. If you're one of the other teams, you've got a 16-to-1 chance of getting promoted. So obviously those ones that come down have more revenue than anyone else. So that's one thing. The revenue leads to success, but the high press leads to success. So when people are saying, well, what does he know about high pressing? He doesn't even understand football. He doesn't need to, because you know what? He's a really, really experienced and good businessman. And what he's done is he's taken the analytics and looked at it and said, this, and this is usually what's going to get you promoted on an average over 10 years, say, right? And that's what I want to hear, that is, because he's looked at this in depth, you know. And it was obvious to me that that's really where the original idea for the press came. You know, and obviously Man City have played it, and Wayne Rooney has played it before. So I took quite a lot out of that. I thought he was, you know, I thought he come across as being really genuine, and like he looks like he's in it for the long term, doesn't he? Is that what you got?
Yeah, right. I got that as well. I don't think he's messing around either. I mean, look what he's managed to achieve in a short space of time. I mean, we've got our stadium pretty much almost done, whereas when you look at Liverpool, they're still waiting on work to be done, and you know, their top Premier League game.
Are they still waiting?
I think they're still waiting for some some of the stands to be redeveloped at Liverpool.
I didn't realise that.
We've nearly got ours complete, so that just goes to show how, you know, how serious he is taking it. I really like Tom Wagner, and I love the vision that they've got. And when I walked in there, I'll be honest, I was a bit unsure what to expect, but I kept an open mind anyway. But I will, hand on heart, say that I walked out of there inspired.
I think that's a general feeling. I think, from what I've heard from people, they were inspired by the evening, and it also came across to me that you know, the interesting thing was, you know, when he mentioned the whole City game. He only briefly touched on it, but I think he's sending a message there. You know, we can't have that reaction to defeat
No.
because it's gonna happen to us,
Yeah.
and he accepts that. And I think we have to accept that we're not going to probably go up this season.
Yeah, but they never said that either, have
No.
they? They have never come out and said they've obviously mentioned going back to the Premier League. They've never given us any dates for that, have they? And let's face it, when after everything we've gone through as a club and the neglect that has happened, can you really expect for these owners to come in, just dust everything off and get us promoted on that season? Obviously, that would be absolutely phenomenal, but we just have to be realistic. And then, there's the finances behind it, and we have to follow FFP and all of that. And I think what I found was interesting when he said is that there probably won't be much fund in January, but next summer, that's where they're going to be able to get more players in and spend more money. So that will be interesting next summer.
Yeah, I think I picked up on that as well, because I think everyone needed that clearing up, because I have to deal with that in the group quite a lot. People saying, "Oh, like we're multi-billionaires. Or who are we going to buy in January?" And we're not going to buy anyone in January unless we raise the funds to cover it, because FFP won't allow us to. We have to be sustainable. So, for instance, in the summer, we spent £5 million on players. We had £5 million worth of income on players as well. So it balanced. So when you look at it, the players we sold, we got the new 7 in for those 2. So for me, that's great. And if we can do a similar thing in January, although the January window is generally a quieter window, and I think if we could move the likes, probably this is what I'm thinking: Hogan, Roberts, probably Duke, and we probably need a goalkeeper, to be honest, because that game on the ground doesn't really suit John Ruddy. We've seen him a few times. When he gets the ball at his feet and he's pressed, he panics. And he tends to kick it long, or like happened on Saturday when we nearly had a heart attack when he got the ball took off him. But I can't remember now if it was Tom Wagner or Gary Cook that made the comment about firing arrows at ourselves.
I think that was Gary Cook.
Yeah, because I took that from his chat. I took that, I think that was an interesting point.
Yeah, I think what he's asking of us is to support the team and to ask for some patience. I mean, obviously now we live in a world where we want everything done now and everything's done quickly. But I think looking at it from their perspective, it's, if you want to be successful, you need to be smart about it. You can't really rush these things, and I did agree with him, and I think that it is important for us, all the fans, to start getting behind the team. I think it's really important. And Wayne Rooney, I was really surprised by Wayne Rooney yesterday. He's such a completely different person to what you see when he's doing interviews or he's in the media. Yesterday he was confident, knowledgeable. He was just so calm, and he was just so lovely. He comes across as a really, really genuine person. And what got me kind of thinking is, yes, he's a young manager and he hasn't got the managerial experience. But this is a guy who has competed at the highest level. He's won trophies for Man United. He's played under Sir Alex Ferguson, one of the greatest managers of all time. He's at Blues.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing to take for it. I think a lot of it gets put down a lot by the fans. And really, I mean, what a huge character to have at our helm. He may not have done it at Derby. He was under a lot of pressure at Derby. I mean, the guy had, I think, 14 people in the squad at one point,
Mm.
4 or 5. He had 4 goalkeepers on the bench. He'd got teenagers in the side. He was paying some of the wages himself. And if they hadn't had that 21-point deduction that season, they would have stayed up. I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah,
testament to him. I think it's a great achievement. But
yeah. And I think to if to be a successful manager, you need that backing from the owners, and he's got that.
yeah,
And I think the world is his oyster now. I think give him time and the backing, and when the fundings do come, I honestly do believe that he can be really great for us. I
yeah,
honestly believe
and the
that.
system they have in place for recruitment is a really advanced system. So he really doesn't have to pick players himself.
Mm.
He tells them what sort of players he wants. They want players to press, and you've only got to look at the players we signed in the summer to see that they were picked with the pressing game in mind. So I'm not under any illusions there. And I think what he said about John Eustace, what Tom Wagner said, was right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with John Eustace. He's a nice guy and that, but it's like you just said, Becky, he hasn't got that. It's probably that aura, that charisma. I don't know, but he hasn't done the things that Wayne Rooney's done.
Mm.
And can I ask you 2 questions, right? Firstly, he gets knocked a lot for his when he's being interviewed, right? Was there any of that?
No,
It could just
it
be
was
nerves, couldn't it?
it was literally he was talking like me and you are now. He was mingling with supporters, having photos done, talking. He was just it, he was just a completely different person to what we see when he's on the camera. Um, he's really lovely, really really lovely.
And of course, you don't have to be fantastic at being interviewed to be a good manager.
No,
You
no,
don't, it doesn't matter. I mean,
and I think also he knows that he gets a lot of stick from the media,
of
which
course
is
he does.
prob probably why he is the way he is when he's standing in front of them, because he's probably at the moment he's one of those people, one of those managers where he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. So I
Absolutely.
think he's coming across as that, and he's a bit shut offish and hunched and not really making eye contact, and he's doing all the but yeah, I think we know the media can be really, really toxic. And I think it's up to us now, supporters, to just say enough is enough with this. We've got stuff to be doing. We want to get promoted. Let's not just mess about. Let's just support our team, support Wayne, support the project. And at the end of the day, we're all as one.
Yeah.
That's what the owners want from us. They want us all to be united, to shoot from the same page. And I think it's important. We really really need to get St Andrews full again. Really really need to,
I
because
think what we've got to get away from this constant knocking of Wayne Rooney. I think we've got to put John Eustace in the cupboard, lock it, and
yeah,
throw the key away because he's not here
yeah,
anymore. So just forget
no,
him now, okay? We were all grateful for what he did. He's a nice guy. Nice guys don't always win things, right? A lot of people have got issues with Wayne Rooney. He's had a bit of a colourful past, but that's in the past is in the past. You can think of lots of footballers and managers who've got history that probably isn't fantastic, but you know what? He's our manager now. We've got the dream ticket with these Americans and a former, England international who's played at the very, very top of his game. Let's give the guy a break. Just
he
give him
knows his
a chance.
stuff. He knows his stuff. He knows what to do. He knows what's asked of him.
Yeah, because
And
he was talking
he's
about
just
the high. He was talking about the high press, wasn't he? Explaining it.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, he was explaining all that, and there was video clips that he was comparing games, and comparing players to how they started to how they are now, and you can see that improvement like game by game. And he's mentioned what he's done, what they've been doing in training, and it all sounds really really positive. So it's all down to us now.
It's
We need
interesting
to.
now, Beck, as well, that you see like one or two of the players are starting to publicly come on board with him, like JJ, saying that before, it was more of a long ball game, and now he's getting excited about the fact that they're getting the ball more, they can move more, they can use it, And I just think that finish by JJ on Saturday showed that he suddenly got some confidence that I don't think he'd have gone around that keeper like that before, and you take little bits out of the game, I think. So the other question I wanted to ask you was, if you were a player, would you be inspired by him?
Definitely. Mainly because, as I said, he's not an experienced manager. He's a young manager. He's in his late 30s, so he hasn't got that behind him. But what he has got is medals. He's got trophies. He's played in the Champions League. He's played at all of these levels of the game, and he's played under one of the greatest managers of all time. And he hasn't got the experience, but he's got the knowledge, and that came across yesterday. He really, really does know his stuff, and I think he does genuinely want to be part of Blues, and he wants to be with us in making us successful. And yeah, I'm asking again for the fans, just please just be patient, and that's all it is. And it's the players' fitness as well. We need to be patient with that. These are humans. It's going to take weeks, maybe months, to be able to get at that full fitness to play that high press.
Yeah, I think you said to me, didn't you, Beck, that he said try to explain the fitness levels required by the high press. And I've said it lots of times in comments, and people go, they can't run for 90 minutes, they can't. But you said yourself, didn't you? I think he said yesterday to you that it's like training for a marathon.
Yeah, those were his exact words. He said it is like training for a marathon. You need to do it, gradually, and that's what he's implementing into the team as well. And I think it is slowly coming off. I mean, that first 45 minutes against Ipswich,
oh, wow.
that was on point. That was exactly what we were looking for, and we need that first 45 minutes from Ipswich for 90 minutes every single game, and I think it will come. I really do. It's just going to take time.
I was surprised that we didn't press on Saturday too much in the first half, but I think when Wayne Rooney does his pressers, like his press interviews after the game, you can tell that he's a scholar of the game, and of tactics. And what I like about him is, although he's a similar age to some of the players, he's not that much older. That he doesn't mind. He separates himself from them. He's gone in at half time. He's obviously given him a bit of a bollocking, hasn't he? Because he'd be used to having that with Alex Ferguson. Absolutely, definitely, he would. And he's done it at half time. Yeah, and he's more or less said, on his post-match presser, he said, I told them that there wasn't enough energy there. In other words, they didn't really press the way they could have. And in the second half, we've seen that change, didn't we?
Yeah, it's interesting when you mentioned being under Sir Alex Ferguson, because he's obviously played with Roy Keane as well, who we all know is quite a ferocious. So he's got that aggression embedded in him. So it probably does come across that we probably think, oh, you're being a bit brutal, but actually, when you think about it, when he's been grown up and played with likes of Roy Keane, who is, we all know what Roy Keane is like, and Sir Alex Ferguson, who are ruthless, let's say, and he's probably inherited a little bit of that personality into his managerial role as well. So
it must have been fascinating listening to him. You know, just actually listening to him explain his game and stuff. And he obviously knows what he's doing. He's got the backing of the board. He's not going to get sacked anytime soon. So I think
No.
everyone, you know, everyone needs to just accept that now, and let's just move on with it. So, I mean, you went on a tour of the ground.
Yeah, so we went, yeah, tour of the whole stadium, went through a little bit of history, and we had all these talks about the visions of the club. So talking about things like disability facilities, and things like that, and working with the community as well. That
When you
was a big
spoke, sorry, Beth, just while I'm thinking about it, when you spoke about a disability cost stuff, I mean, you know, we've got an ongoing thing with Blues at the moment, haven't we? You know,
one.
because we try to get what we can for the people that are in our group. If
Yeah.
they have issues, we speak to them. Um, I'm the sensory rooms. Did that come up?
They did. So it was one of the questions that was brought up to Gary Cook. And I spoke to Jeremy Dale about it as well. When I spoke to Jeremy Dale, he said he's aware of what the likes of, you know, Albion, Villa and Wolves are doing. And he said it is something that the club are obviously going to be looking into. But he said his only problem is he's worried about where it's going to be in the stadium. But he said that's really for another day. But he said because of the way and how long the club has been neglected for, it's going to take time to get everything done. So he just basically said that they're not ignoring it. And I believed him when he said that they're not ignoring it. They are listening, and they're looking into, you know, replicating and fixing everything. And Gary Cook said himself that the whole place is broken. Everything about St Andrews is just, you know, it's just a mess. And he said himself basically that he knows what needs to be done. It's going to be looked into. And to just bear with him basically, and you know they obviously need the funding for that as well, and you know it's just it's all money at the end of the day, isn't it? So but that's the one thing I like about having these group forums, because now I know he said that to everyone, so this will be an opportunity for us to be like, okay, let's wait and see, monitor it, and then maybe 6 months time, 6 months time, hold them accountable and say, oh well, you said this, how is this progressing now from 3 months ago?
Because we've got a bit of a history with them with that, haven't we? You know, I mean, we've had our differences with Jeremy Dale. All right with you, by the way, wasn't?
Yeah, no,
he
he's fine.
didn't hold it against you that we both sort of sent him nasty emails.
No, he was really nice. He's lovely.
Yeah, he's been good, you know. But I think this is the thing that we've been doing when we send them emails. Sometimes their communication skills aren't the best, are they? At middle management, you know. And so it's good for them to sort of be able to open up to groups like this. I mean, we have, in all fairness, and we've been very cynical of them, haven't we? You know, over the last couple of months with the Justice for the 21 thing. But at the end of the day, after, you know, hand on heart, say that Jeremy Dale in the end came good. He did.
Yeah.
You know, and he probably surprised you and I a bit, didn't he, really?
Yeah.
No, we had a crazy weekend, didn't we? Because it was like, I don't know what happened. It was like,
it was a bit mental, but yeah, right. I think just be patient, and I'm happy to monitor the whole disabled facility situation, and then bring it up again in 3 months' time, and then ask what exactly is their progress.
Because you've got all the info from Steve Obi as well, haven't you? So you know we've got everything that Wolves do, Villa do, Albion do, you know, and we've got the contacts at the clubs. So you know, so we've done our own work on it. So you know, we know what we want from them. But I think you're right, having said that, we've got to be patient. But it wouldn't hurt them with the disabled stuff just to get it cleaned up and to have someone on the doors of those.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I mean, if you're a disabled supporter, you don't want to wait 3 months before you can go to the loo, you know.
No.
You know, so I think there's a bit of, they'll have to be reasonable there, but I think they've been good in that respect, definitely. Was ticketing mentioned at all?
Ticketing was mentioned, and Gary said it's one of those weird things, because what did he say? I can't remember exactly what he said, but it depends on what game and who's playing and where they are in the league and the pricing. Obviously this time of year, coming up to Christmas, everyone's sure it's difficult for everyone. So I think he's going to come up with a plan, and that's going to be talked about, ticket pricing, which is one of the reasons why he said, buy a ticket for Sheffield Wednesday and you get 50% off.
Well, what I've noticed
2
though
months,
is that the next 2 games is 50% off anyway.
yeah, it's an all round
Yeah.
thing. It's not just for those, because I think there was other complaints because people didn't buy Sheffield Wednesday tickets because they couldn't
Right.
afford it. So when it was mentioned, actually, when they said, if you buy the Sheffield Wednesday, then you get 50%, but then people were like, well, we can't afford it. That's not fair. So I think that's when they said, well, yeah, fine.
Yeah, and it's nice to see them. It's a shame they didn't get it right first time, but it's nice to see that they don't mind adjusting things when they know they've
Yeah,
gone wrong. That's what I like. It was like that thing,
yeah,
Justice for 21, when I mean, they weren't going to put the names up on the scoreboard for the Wednesday game, and then they did, and it's like saying, something. We understand, and I think that's good. It shows that they listen. And listening is
yeah,
really important for us, isn't it? Because we haven't been listened to for many, many years. So the disabled stuff, we're obviously going to wait. With the tickets, we'll wait and see. Was there any mention of like half-season tickets? Because I've been asked about that.
I didn't see that being mentioned actually, but yeah, I think we can definitely contact the club and ask them about that. But no, I
I think that offer will
remember
come
that
up.
being
I've just been asked about it. I just wondered if they mentioned it at all. Did you have a look at the executive areas?
Yeah. It's lovely. Yeah.
Can you see yourself in there?
Pardon?
Can you see yourself in there?
No, it's a bit too posh for me, I think.
I knew you were going to say
No,
that.
it's no, the way that they've done the place up is just absolutely amazing. Hospitality suite is just, yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, it would be nice to go in there and have that experience, but I think for me personally, it's not really my thing.
No.
But yeah, but they're all, the hospitality is all fully booked now until the end of January. So if anyone's looking at getting any hospitality, I'd start booking now for next year, because I think they are going really quick. The hospitality
I hope I hope they get the balance right, because for people that can afford the hospitality, it's obvious that it's very popular, it's sold out. But we've got to make sure we get that pricing structure right for people that perhaps aren't on big incomes, can't afford, like we have sometimes 2 or 3 games a week. Some people choosing to go away rather than come home, and we'd like people to do everything. It would be nice if they come up with some sort of scheme that would sort of go across the board, and help people that are on lower incomes. But it's a really, really difficult thing to do. It's like offering cheap tickets. If you've got a season ticket and then suddenly tickets are going at a £5 a head, then you're going to be a little bit pissed off because you paid for your stuff up front, But I think at some point we have to just think for the good of the club, and it's easy for me
Yeah, I think,
because I paid for a
yeah.
season ticket.
Yeah, no, I think that's something that they're looking into, and something that will always be looked into as well. I think the main priority now is, now that the stadium is nearly almost done. There's just one little part left in the Kop to do. Once that's done, we pretty much good to go. I think it's down to us then, but obviously ticketing prices, they need to work with us with that. But yeah, we just need to get everyone down there now. And that's for
Is it going to be open for Rotherham? Did they say?
I think it would be done by Leicester, they said,
Okay.
the Leicester game.
Yeah. Okay. Another interesting thing that came out of it, I think, was you were telling me that right across the club they're playing the pressing game.
Yeah, yeah. So they've got the academy doing it. They've got the women's doing it, and the men's team. So we're doing it all throughout, which I thought was really, really interesting. So it just goes to show how actively involved and how much they want each section, so men's, women's, and academy. They want them all to be successful and play at the highest level. So yeah, I found that really, really interesting.
What I like about that is
Nice.
that when you've got managers like Darren Carter, you know, and everyone across the board at coaching and management level, and the players can all discuss the game the way that they all play. You know, so if that tactic is used right the way through the club, then everyone sings off the same team sheet.
That's it.
You know, Wayne Rooney could look at the ladies and say to Hope Powell or something, you know what might help there, or someone else could, you know, it's interactive, isn't it? You know,
Everyone's
it's
in
a
it
culture
together,
that's going to come out of the club, you know.
no one's
Excited by that.
separate. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really, really good. Did you get to look at any of the medical stuff, like the physios?
Yeah, they in the changing room, there's the massage area. Didn't really look too much into the whole physio thing. But yeah, that looked nice, quite high quality stuff. And what I thought was interesting is that they've done up the changing room, but the away changing room, they've just practically left it. It looks like a complete, which I think is like a psychological thing, because we
Someone
don't
else
want
did
the
that. I can't
opposition to
remember who
be
it was. Yeah, that's
we don't want the opposition to be comfortable at St Andrews. So I thought, and there's just a little bath in there as well, and a couple of sinks, and it just literally, it looks like, I think the best way to describe it is a school PE area
sort of
where you
like
got
that.
changed. That's exactly what it's like.
Is it hot water?
Who knows? Probably not. No, can't spoil them too much.
That's brilliant. That is. I like that. It's like it's a mental thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, what players were there?
So obviously Wayne Rooney was there. Darren Carter was there. Craig Gardner. Hope Powell was there. Gemma Lawley. And Brandon. I keep
Taylor.
forgetting his surname. Him.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he was there.
How did they come across that? Or like happy? They're going to be happy, obviously.
Yeah. They literally everyone. They all were just so nice. They were all mingling, and they just seemed happy. They just seemed really laid back. It was just an overall really, really good night. Everyone there, there was there's nothing really negative to report about it. It was just a group of people that want the same thing.
So, in your experience of last night, then your interactions with people, was that the general feeling? How were the Punjabi Blues? Were they happy with it?
Yeah, they seemed really, really, really happy with it, and really impressed. So I think everyone there was really impressed with with everything that has happened, that was said, their plans. And I think one thing that stood out for me is what they want to do with the community, working with the community, and players are going around schools doing talks, and they're really trying to work, and it's not just about the football club, it's about the city as a whole, and working together, and just being a united city. And they've got all these plans, which they're gonna tell us about that. They said that they've got media coverage to explain what their plans are. They've got so much going on that they're going to do to work with the community, and I had so much respect for them then, because it just goes to show how much, you know, they do care, and that they're not just looking at the football and getting a promotion. They're looking at what they can do to help people in the community as well, especially those that are in poverty, and working with school children. And yeah,
it also highlights the level of neglect from the previous owners, doesn't it?
And Birmingham City Council, sorry.
Yeah, put the boot in while you can.
Yeah.
But I mean, just while we're talking about that, like with us as a group as well, you know, we've been after the Villa, haven't we? And about the justice for the 21. So we're going to keep still doing those sort of things. But obviously, in regards to working with the Blues, I think as a group we're much happier this week than we were this time last week, aren't we?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm knackered now.
And how about you? What, you're knackered?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've had a hard week, but you know, everyone has.
Yeah.
What about did they mention the Christmas appeal? Because I know they've written to us last week.
Yeah, that was mentioned. So yeah, they mentioned the Christmas appeal, and yeah, they've got the link to the GoFundMe page, that they want to get out there and help. I think, did they say, was it 12,000 children in care?
Yeah, 12,500 children in care, I believe. Yeah.
And they want to give every single one of them a Christmas present, which is, I think that's just absolutely fantastic. And also looking at it from their perspective, yeah, they're doing this, but they're also, let's just say, because we've gone through this 10 years of neglect, that's a generation of supporters we've lost. If the Blues are giving presents to all these children who are Man City fans, Liverpool fans.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
This is the opportunity for them to be like, I got this off Blues. I want to go down the Blues. So it's just like, it's clever, but what they're doing
It's
is
nice,
really
but
nice.
it's also sort of, you know, planned to get people to follow us, which is what we want at the end of the day. Although it isn't done solely for that, of course not.
No, it's not done solely. No, they genuinely want to. Yeah, they're not doing it for that. They genuinely want to help people, and it comes across as that.
Yeah, and we'll have the link for people to make that donation if they want to, won't we? Which no doubt you'll be sorting out in the near future, or someone will. So, all in all, what did you think?
I think that we
overall experience, right? I'm sorry, just because I know before you went, you were a little bit apprehensive, weren't you? On that, listen, you know, it's a big thing for, you know, you're not like a big mouth like me. You would just go and sort of, it was a big thing for you to go to. But I think if you went and they made you feel comfortable like that and they made you understand things, and did you come out of it feeling like, my God, I'm so glad I went? Or was it like,
Yeah, literally, I'm so glad that I went. I'm really, really grateful that the opportunity came. And for anyone who does get an invitation, please go, because it's an eye opener. and even just interacting with them and speaking to them, it's just absolutely, it was incredible. As I said, I walked out feeling proud. Um, Not that I've never been proud of the club, but you know, after everything that's gone on, you just kind of like, oh, you know, you're a bit, we've got a little bit fed up of things. But I'm genuinely proud of our football club. I've always loved our football club, but it feels like there's a newfound love for it. It's new, and what the owners want to do for us is just, it's just absolutely amazing, and I'm just so grateful and inspired and thankful. It's just, I literally have no words. I don't know what I can't really
Well, for
explain
someone that
it.
hasn't got any words, you've expressed yourself extremely well there. And I think, was there
It
any
was
mention of
just,
the other sort of fans groups that are coming up?
there were briefly mentioned about other fans group. I think they were going to do it every quarterly, I believe they said. So yeah, watch this space, everyone, because there's going to be more.
We've lost you, Beck. Beck, can't hear you.
I think the fan is going to be successful.
All right, you're coming in and out there. We couldn't hear you for a minute, but you can
Oh,
hear.
sorry.
It's all right. It's okay. Yeah. So I think these fans forums and that is a really strong way of doing things. And like I said at the very outset, it isn't that they've selected a group of people who are like got loads of money or got this or got that. They've done it with the objective of getting the word out there. That's the thing. So, you know, if you've got groups of 20,000 people that you can spread the word to, like we are now to sort of 10,000 people potentially, then obviously it's a good thing, because what we want to do is get it out there and share it, you know. So anyone that's listening who can share it, you know, because this is a big deal for us. This is our chance. And I get the feeling from the little bit I saw last night and from what you told me, Beck, you know, and I can just tell by talking to you how inspired you are by it, you know. It's I think it's a fantastic thing, and they've given us a great opportunity. Where have you gone? Well, not quite sure where Beck's gone there, but it's been I don't know where she's gone. It's been a really interesting little chat with everyone, and thanks to Beck. I don't know what's happened to her there, but she's been really good, hasn't she? It was really nice listening to her. She's obviously taken a lot in, and it's inspired her. I hope it's inspired you guys too, and stick with us if you can, please. There's going to be a lot of podcasting going on. Press the you know, follow us and subscribe or whatever it is, you know, and like it, and hopefully we'll chat again soon. We've got another podcast coming up tomorrow with me, Gary, and Pete. Similar thing that we did last Wednesday. Thanks very much for listening to this. I hope you've enjoyed it, and keep right on, because I think we've got a great future. It's lovely to hear all about that. Thanks, Beck, and thank you, guys, and speak to you soon. Thank you.